Hello! Remember that Q&A video that I said I wanted to make in January? It's February and here it is. I actually only got 2 questions for the Q&A, but I'm actually going to be stretching one of those out, and this is going to be sort of an origin story video to tell you what led up to me making videos and what I'm going to be doing next. So it's going to be sort of an update and announcement video too, and I'm going to answer both of those questions along the way. So, way back when I was a kid, ever since I was a little kid, I've always been a big fan of Lego. My brothers and I would play with them all the time. We bought lots of sets and we built all kinds of things. It's kind of always been our thing. And one day I discovered Windows Movie Maker. You're probably familiar with it. It's a free editing program that comes with most Windows computers. I saw my sister toying with it, and as I realized how it worked, it occurred to me that if I took a picture of my Lego minifigures, reposed them, and took another picture and so on, then I could create the illusion of motion. I basically invented stop motion animation on the spot because I didn't know that this was already a thing. So that's when I got into the hobby of stop motion animation. This hobby became my favorite activity and occupied a lot of my time for the next 5 to 6 years after that. Over those years I made a lot of animations, had a lot of ideas, a lot of successes, and a lot of failures. But most importantly, I learned a lot about video editing and some other skills that would become very useful later. When I got started in college, it got kind of difficult to do this because when you are working on stop motion, you kind of have to have a long period of time to work on it uninterrupted. At the time I was focusing on college and it was really hard to find the enthusiasm because even if I did have the time, after spending all of the day working on college work, the last thing I wanted to do was sit down and do something else tedious. So I put it aside for a while, but during this time, in addition to the skills I had earned, I learned some very important things. One of those is that I wanted to be a filmmaker. I wanted to make entertainment, I wanted to make videos. So my career plan was to go to my community college, earn an associate's in arts degree, and then proceed to another college which happened to be near my area and also happened to be one of the biggest animation colleges in the world. So I went to my community college and I earned that associate's in arts degree. I sent my application to the other college and bam! I got a letter back saying that I was not accepted. This was a bummer. I didn't have a plan B. I was like, what do I do now? I hadn't even applied to any other colleges because I wasn't used to not qualifying for things. But let's rewind. Remember I said I stopped working on stop motion animations because it was hard to work on it for a long time uninterrupted, and it was also tedious. So what did I do with the free time that I had? I watched YouTube videos. During this time, I learned a lot about how people make money on YouTube and how a lot of people make their living from it. So when I got that rejection letter, I decided, why not? Let's give it a shot. If it doesn't go anywhere, then I'll apply to the college again or apply to some other colleges, because it's too late to apply again now. So that's why I started making videos. My original plan was not to make gaming videos. I only started doing that because I didn't have a nice camera. I still don't have a nice camera. This is a webcam, which is decent quality, but I can't carry it away from the computer, so I don't really have a lot of freedom. So I wanted to make gaming videos until I could afford a better camera. Turns out I really like making gaming videos. So that's what I've been doing since last spring, and over the course of that time, I learned a few valuable lessons that I'd like to share with you. Lesson number 1. You can't make something perfect unless you make something imperfect first. The very first video that I posted on this channel almost a year ago was take 3. That's right, I recorded this video 3 times because the first 2 times I decided it wasn't good enough. But on the 3rd try, I finally realized I just have to do it. You just have to finish it, and even if it's imperfect, then the next one will be better. And that's kind of been the theme for a lot of the things that I've made since then. I tend to be a perfectionist, and I don't want to call something finished or show anyone until I consider it perfect. But I finally realized that you have to make what you can make before you can make what you want to make. So don't be afraid to finish an imperfect product and call it done. So from then on, I just made the videos as well as I could, and over time, they got better, they improved. Then came lesson number 2. Don't publish the beginning unless you finished the ending. Now this one can conflict with the first lesson if you're not careful, but you have to think it through. I had problems with a lot of videos where I would publish the first few episodes of something and then something would go wrong. Usually there was just a technical glitch and the save file would get erased. This happened multiple times. Not fun. So by the end of 2017 I had finally learned my lesson, and that lesson was don't publish the first episode unless you've already finished the last episode so that you know you'll be able to finish the series. That's why anything you see on this channel from 2018 forward has an ending. The missed live streams, even though some of them turned out boring, I kept making them until we finished the game. Now The Escapist is a really long game, but I sat down and I didn't stop recording until I had escaped from the first prison. It's not the ending of the game, but it's an ending for a series. I edited all of those videos and scheduled them all at the same time, so that no matter what, you would get the beginning and the ending of the series and no just random cutoff. Obviously LEGO Worlds is a little bit different because it doesn't really have an ending, but anything I make from now on that should have an ending will have an ending. And finally, I learned lesson number 3. My idea at the beginning of 2018 was to put a lot more content on the channel by finding some games that didn't require a lot of editing, recording a lot of episodes at once, editing all of the episodes at once, and then posting them. I did this with The Escapists and it seemed to work. I sat down for a couple of hours and recorded 5 episodes, and then over the next 2 or 3 days I edited those episodes. And those were days when I didn't even have a lot of time to work on it, so on a regular day, I estimated that I should be able to record 9 videos and then edit them over the course of 2 days. But here's what I learned. From both my own satisfaction with the Escapist videos and seeing how many of you were watching it compared to how many watched my other series, I realized I had made a mistake. I had sacrificed quality for quantity. I had gone after a game that didn't require a lot of editing, but without the editing, what's the point in watching it? Why would you come to my channel just to watch me play a game that you could play yourself? The reason people come to watch my LEGO World series is because I do all the special effects and I add in the music and I make it funnier. Creative stuff that's not actually in the game. Fortunately, there were a few of you who really enjoyed the Escapist series, so it wasn't a complete waste. So those were the 3 lessons that I learned, and I hope that you can make use of these lessons so you don't make the same mistakes as me on whatever projects it is that you work on. Now it's time to talk about the future of the channel again. Recently, YouTube made some changes to the rules. Now, in order to make money on YouTube, you have to have at least 1,000 subscribers and I think 4,000 hours of watch time per year. I don't have that. Now, as they pointed out, anyone who doesn't have numbers this high isn't really making enough money on YouTube to make a living anyway. But it was sort of a wake-up call that helped me to realize just how long it would take to be able to make a living on YouTube. Not that it can't happen in the future, but that's far enough off that I can't justify not going back to college or looking for another job. And if I'm going to do that, kind of the same thing happens to YouTube that happened to my stop motion hobby. If I can't be focused on it all the time and make it a priority, I can't make a lot of stuff. So I'm not putting the channel to rest, I'm not putting it to sleep, I'm just kind of putting it in lounge mode. It's just gonna kick back kind of like this and just relax and be a little bit chill instead of being up like this, really focused. I'm gonna keep making stuff. I love making stuff. In the free time that I have, I'm gonna keep making stuff, but there's not gonna be a strict schedule. I'd love to have a strict schedule, but if I make one, I'm afraid I would just wind up disappointing you guys by breaking it. My favorite game by far is LEGO Worlds. I love making the LEGO Worlds videos, and honestly, I've actually found that playing games in general is a lot more fun when I'm making a video out of it. So my LEGO Worlds series is something I do intend to keep making. I don't know how often the episodes are going to come out. It'll probably vary. Maybe they'll come out every week sometimes, maybe they'll come out every 2 weeks, maybe they'll come out in random times. Maybe I will settle into a schedule. Maybe I'll post some kind of video, just anything at all, once a week. But I can't promise anything because I have no idea. We're just gonna have to see what happens together. So LEGO Worlds I really want to keep going with. That's sort of a priority for me. The Escapists might come back. I know at least one person told me he'd like to see more of that. But I can promise you this, if it does come back, I will actually put effort into the editing and make it a lot more fun. Sure You Are Being Hunted might also come back. I never did do a complete run on the channel because that's one of the save files that got corrupted. I'd like to do more live streams, and if I do, that would be something that I'd be more likely to be able to do on a consistent weekly schedule because I don't have to edit it. We finished Myst, so I still have to find another game that I think will work. And I still have a lot of other things that I'd like to try out, but the channel's just gonna have to take a back seat in my life so that I can focus on some other more important things. I want to give a big thanks to everyone who's stayed with me consistently, everyone who's watched my videos, everyone who's commented. Without you guys, there's not much point to doing this at all. And I know this is sort of the end of the focused and serious life part of the channel, but what occurred to me just today is that none of the big YouTubers got big right away. Most of them just posted once in a while or once a week, and eventually something blew up. If I keep at it, it could happen one day. Anyway, I guess that's about all I have to say, so thanks for understanding, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.